Most people use some dude or dudette in somewhere like India or Pakistan or the Philippines or something like that to write their bullet points for Amazon. They think they're getting a good deal, but really what they're getting is a sack of rubbish. In this video, I want to show you by critiquing an Amazon bullet point or some Amazon bullet points, I want to show you how not to do it and how to do it instead. If you are selling on Amazon or you're thinking of selling on Amazon, you're going to need to know how to write bullet points that make you stand out. I'm going to show you how to do it right now. It's impossible to know with any certainty what Amazon will take from your bullet points and make into SEO content for your listing. Suffice to say, this here, these bullet points, they're nothing as far as SEO is concerned, okay? So don't try and use them for SEO because it's a mug's game. Instead, use them to sell. They should be there purely to sell the product, okay? They should augment your sales argument. If you ever want to check that, the easiest thing to do is just to search for your ASIN on Amazon along with, you know, a particular thing like that, for instance, that particular word phrase on Amazon, and you'll quickly see that it is not indexed, meaning it's not had any value at all for SEO. Anyway, so that's something a lot of people get confused about. So what is the purpose of it? Well, it's to sell. That's what its only purpose is for. It's to sell. I see a lot of very, very poorly done bullet points in listings, a ton, especially if people have used somebody on Fiverr to write their bullet points for them, for instance. And you can get these services that will write bullet points and indeed your entire listings, and they'll charge you like $100 for it, something like that. They're crap. They're really, really bad. Better to learn how to do it yourself, I believe. Anytime, quick little tip, anytime you actually do pay for that, and if somebody puts that in there for you, which is 100% money back guarantee, that's a complete cop out. It's a bogus bollocks thing, makes no benefit whatsoever. It's just the copywriter couldn't be asked to write something, so they give you that instead. Okay, it's meaningless, it's worthless. Everybody who uses Amazon knows that you can get a refund. Okay, so it's a worthless thing. All right, now we've destroyed Fiverr's ability to sell those. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at that. So here's one bullet point: solar charging on and off. Here's a question for you. Somebody who is searching for a solar torchlight or solar powered garden light, do you think they understand what solar is? Do you think they know what solar does? Solar panels can collect solar energy and convert it into electricity efficiently, which is environmentally friendly and saves energy. Do you think people who are looking at this product already know that? Like they have got, that's the exact reason they're buying the product, because of that. So to put it here is a complete waste of space. Yeah, it's a total waste of space. Complete bollocks. The LED solar landscape light will save electricity bills. Again, that's why I'm buying it, based on photosensitive control, switch on panels, blah, 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 blah. I know all this already. Okay. So the point here is, if you just tell your customers things that they already know, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. So what should go in that area? What should go in that area? Things that augment the sales argument, or concerns that people have got about the product, okay? Things that augment the sales argument or things that people are concerned about. How can you see those two things? Pretty easy. Go check out your competitors' listings before you list and see what their ratings are like. Now, these are customer reviews. I do not bother with one-star reviews for this because one-star reviews are people who are highly emotional and they are binary, like it's good or it's terrible people, okay? And so you don't get much good information from one-star reviews. You get your best information from 2- and 3-star reviews, okay? First critical factor, how long does the product light up for? That's a critical factor. Broke whilst installing. What's the quality of the product? Will this product last in my garden? Super cute and easy to install. So easy to install, well, that's a thing which we ought to highlight in the bullet points. Easy to install. Not super bright, best for lighting. Okay, so we ought to talk about how bright this is. Now, when we talk about how bright something is, the technical way to talk about brightness is to talk about lumens, okay? The number of lumens that something has. But lumens probably means nothing at all to you, probably means nothing at all to you, but you'll be amazed how many people talk about lumens as a way of demonstrating how bright something is. Waterproof, 7 lumen light white, 10 lumens. Like, what does that even mean? Nobody knows what that means. These things have been written by engineers instead of marketers. Thank you for that, Lindsay. So you don't talk about that. Instead, you talk about relative brightness. Relative brightness. What would be important from a safety point of view, for instance, would be the amount of light that a garden path light creates. Or if I'm looking to make have it as a ambient lighting, then I would say ambient lighting rather than the number of lumens. Light daylight at 9 p.m. That's another good way of putting that. Okay, so you want to talk about things that people understand. Don't use jargon or technical language that your customers just won't get. Anyway, so could be better. I like the design. So the design was good. Design is clearly important. Yes. So one of your things, one of your points ought to be the design factor. If you've had it designed by an interior designer, that probably means a lot. You probably want to say that. Include the color of the warm light. So warm light, that's some good language. I'd probably steal that. Not too yellow, not too blue, blah, blah, blah. And they're not waterproof. So waterproof's clearly important to people. So I'd want to flag that. I'd want to say why they are waterproof, what's been done to them. That's another one about the length of time they work for. Length of time they work for. The good. The light that is shown on the ground is attractive. So that's a design element. So are you starting to kind of see now? We can talk about design. We can talk about the relative brightness. We can talk about the longevity. We can talk about how long it stays on for. Like, we're already building up what ought to go in the bullets according to what's important to people. This is how you do it. Kind of useless, completely invisible, blah, blah, blah. Will do the job. Too much of a pain for grassy areas. Okay, well, that's potentially a niche. So I've got grassy area lights. Is that a niche in and of itself? I'd definitely make a note of that to see if it was, because if it is a niche, I'd want to exploit it by targeting it. Aesthetically pleasing. So lots of people talk about design. What's a good way of flagging to people that they're good designs? What's some social proof that we could incorporate into a bullet point that would flag good design? If I were able to say, as seen on houseandgardens.co.uk, or actually, I wouldn't be able to say that, as seen on House and Gardens, would that be massive amounts of social proof about the design aesthetic of the product? Yes or no? Yes. If I put a advert in this position here, where there's currently an advert for Cuprinol, hopefully you guys can see that. If I used Google, the Google network, contextual network, advertising network, to put an advertisement directly onto this particular website for my particular product, I am then able to say, as seen on House and Garden, okay? And all I've done is I put an advert on that. Now, you will see this all the time without realizing that's what's going on. You see it all the time. As seen on, oftentimes just means they put an advert on the site, okay? And then all of a sudden, I've got a very reliable outside source that's kind of saying or giving credence to the fact that mine's designed nicely. Okay, make sense? So you can see now, so then you've got your scope of your bullet points. Here's what my bullet points should include. They should include something about design, something about the length of time that these things last for, the quality of them. But it's not so much quality, it's how long they last. How long the light stays on for, how bright the light is, what's the design aesthetic. They're each a separate bullet point, okay? And then what I do is each bullet point I write first, and then I look to visually represent every bullet point in an image. That's how I set it up. So I've got my hero image, brilliant. But then every single one of these is going to be based on my bullet point. So it's a visual representation of my bullet point. That's how I put them together. That's how I put my bullet points together. That's how I then put my image ideas together as well. Okay. So hope that helps. Suffice to say, hopefully you can see now why something like that is a complete waste of space and a real missed opportunity to have something very, very convincing sales-wise on the product listing page. That was a video from my regular Monday night Q&A session with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. Now, if you haven't already, you might want to go and check out the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. The link is in the description to go. While you're looking down there, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe too, because we post brand new money-making information just like this each and every day. By the way, Aussie Online Entrepreneurs, over 2,500 of us in the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. We're actually the fastest growing community of professional e-commerce sellers here in Australia, with sales, by the way, of over $50 million. Be sure to check us out. The link's in the description to go, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now.